Hey friends, and welcome back to Timberborn. Episode 10 already. Time flies when you're building dams, I guess. And speaking of dams, we just started our badtides, so let's see if the automation we built last episode actually works, because the stinky water is approaching rapidly. And we should see this measurement slowly going up, and when it reaches 5%, the dams should switch position and block the bad water from reaching our colony. It's already at 1%. 5%. 6. And yes, it worked. So we are now draining the water away from our colony. And we've protected ourselves from the bad water. Good. And this side is still a ways off, but I'm gonna assume this one works as well. And then the next question is gonna be if this will work, because I was thinking some more about it after recording the last episode, and I think I made a mistake with this design, but we're gonna see how it actually works in action, because it's hard to visualize when you're not actually playing the game whether or not this works. So we'll see in a minute. And I started today with changing a bunch of beaver names, so I think everyone is renamed. But I did notice, you can see here for our children, that we have gone through all the Baileys again, so we now have 10 Bailey Juniors. But I think I have one more name left on my list, and then we're already going into junior territory, so this is going faster than I expected, to be honest. So if you do have any cool name suggestions, please let me know. We can add a bit more, because otherwise I think with, I guess, the turnover rate we have at the moment, we are gonna run into some problems with, I guess, beavers being born faster than I can rename them. Wait, why are these guys paused? Oh, the flow is already reducing. Oh, wait, that's not... How many power are we producing? 400. Oh, it's dropping rapidly now. So what if we say 0.20? Because we need 470. And we are producing almost that amount with this rate of water flow. So I'm guessing what the problem is that because this water stopped flowing, it reduced the flow rate. And now this one has stopped flowing, so they are gonna pause anyway in a minute. But yeah, I think they paused just a second too soon because there was only water coming from one direction. But wait, no, that shouldn't be a problem, because this should keep the flow rate equal, right? Because there's still water coming through, so why... Yeah, we're still retaining water here, so the flow should remain the same. Wait, what are you guys doing over here? Target height 0.35. That's a lot higher than the actual height. So maybe these guys have too little flow rate? Yeah, because we are only getting about 0.20 cubic meters per second. But we're still getting a bunch of water from this river. And now the flow has almost stopped, but we're still letting out water. I'm guessing it has dropped enough that it's not flowing, because the bottom ones are blocked, right? Yeah, so maybe we do need to raise this threshold a little bit. Because once these open, this should start flowing again. Yeah, it opened. And then you are going for target height. Yeah, it starts flowing again. But the flow is quite slow. So I think we need to redo this dam. Maybe we need to use... I think there was a throttling valve with adjustable flow rate. Maybe we need a throttling valve so we can maintain a steady flow for our production, but still store water. Hey, bad tide ended. It was only a one-day bad tide, so I wasn't really afraid anything would go wrong. Yeah, something to look into. Something is not working the way I want it here. Unconnected buildings. Oh, we've built these houses. Okay. We can connect them, I think. We are doing good on food and water. And that will increase our population by 12. I think it is time to start looking at more farming opportunities. But I want them to finish this dam first before we start big new projects. They did clear this out, so that's nice. They are working on this. So I think after they build that dam, I will start working on our project over here, where we can start making explosives, do a lot more tree cutting, and we might even consider doing all our tree cutting over here and replacing this with farms. Because I think this will be, I don't know, a more steady green area. Because we can retain a lot of water in this river. And I'm not so sure about this river. I think if we get a bad tide, there's not much room for the water to go other than that way. So this entire area will be dry for a while. And most trees can survive for, I think it's about, what is it, 30 days? No, they're all watered, so we can't really see. Oh, 15 days drought resistance. And some of the crops, I think the potatoes we wanted to plant, they only have a drought resistance of 1 day. So we need a really stable green area for that. Unless we can do something else with this bad water. But, I mean, theoretically we could divert it out of the map. Or maybe even behind. I'm not sure if that works. But that's going to be a very big project with lots of stairs and stuff like that. So not something we can easily get into. But then we could fill this pond perhaps and make a way bigger green area. Something to think about. For now, I think I'm going to have them finish this dam. And I will plan some infrastructure for getting the other projects on the go. And I will get back to you guys when we've made some progress on this. Okay, not much progress has been made yet, but I want to bring you guys back to look at this. So the mistake I think I made, I did indeed make. Because you see here that we are not storing any water. Even though the water has been flowing for more than a day, we're not filling up this back area anymore. And the problem is that as long as this sensor measures a level below 1 meter, it will turn these valves on. And because it was below 1 meter after the bad tide, it will never store water because these will just stay on. So I think I'm gonna try something with the throttling valves, where we try and adjust the speed of the valves depending on how much water there is in front and behind of them. So we're gonna need another depth sensor and a relay, I think. And then we're gonna have to replace all of these with the other valve type. Yeah, it's probably gonna take them a while to do all this, so I'll let you know once we can test the new setup. Okay, so one thing I didn't think about is that the throttling valve requires treated planks, and we're not making treated planks, so we're gonna set up a little industry first, I guess. Let's see, how are we on power? We are producing 800, almost 900. We need 470. Treated planks require 250 horsepower. We do have some pine resin, so I guess we can start making these. 800 science, we have that as well. Ooh, interesting building. And we have a little storage for planks here, so then we just need one for treated planks. And you are stored in a pile as well, okay. So we'll add one for treated planks. And we'll tell this one to supply to a larger storage, which we can't fit anywhere. And let's see. We might have to start moving our raw material storage. Maybe to over here, like the gray area. out of the way of our precious farmland. Or maybe over here, if this is gonna be our industry area. Yeah, let's do that. So you are gonna be treated planks. Let's connect this path. Nice. And then I think I'm gonna start moving over these storages as well slowly. Because we will eventually move over all of these guys over here as well. Just because we have a better water flow over here so we can produce more power. I am gonna prioritize this. Just so we can start producing those treated planks. So we can start working on the valves. Okay, and we have our treated plank maker. What's it called? Wood workshop. Oh, we also have our first treated plank already. I think they built this yesterday and I wasn't paying attention. Nice. So Beatrice Jr. is working hard to infuse our planks with pine resin. I'm not sure what the spinning wheels have to do with that, but I'm guessing this one builds up the pressure to infuse the planks with resin. And then we get stronger, more water-resistant planks, I guess. Cool. So I'm gonna start laying out this dam and they can just build it whenever there's treated planks available. No, I'm not, because you don't have the signs to unlock it. Oh well. At least we can see this lake retains water for a long time, so I think building big water pumps along the edge over here is gonna be a really good way for us to continue pumping water even through bad tides and droughts. And I have changed over a bunch of carrots to sunflowers because we are full on carrots, but struggling on the sunflower seeds. So I think we can safely swap out some carrots for sunflowers. And we can unpause this gatherer flag. So Bailey Jr., you can start gathering berries to fill up our storage. And Bounty, you can... Actually, we can delete this lumberjack. Because they chopped all the birches. Well, aside from these two, but I guess we'll just mark them for demolition. And I'm trying to decide if I want more berry bushes over here. We're not actually eating them, I'm just keeping them as a sort of emergency supply. So I'm not sure if it's actually worth it to get even more berry bushes over here. We might actually remove those, and then we can decide later what we want to build here. Maybe we put a berry storage over here for people that are working here to have better access to food, but then they would also lose well-being because they wouldn't be eating carrots and sunflowers, I guess. So maybe not. We are storing treated planks, so that's nice. And one thing I'm noticing over here is that the water pumpers are not working because our water storage is full. So we might actually do some more automation here as well, just to pause these guys when the water storage is full. And that way we can get a couple more jobs, because right now they're all set on their bum doing nothing. So we might as well get a couple more jobs out of them. And I think there is a way to do this. Resource counter. Oh, that requires paper. We're not making paper yet. How hard is it to make paper? It requires 250 science, which we don't have. 80 horsepower, which we do have barely. We're approaching the limits of our 4 water wheels. And then it requires logs, which is a bit of an issue at the moment. So this forest might be too small after all to keep our colony going. So that's good to keep in mind when we're planning this forest, I guess. And actually what we could do is put a couple of lumberjacks over here. And we'll tell them to cut this entire forest, because we can. And we'll give them their own log storage over here, so that they don't have to walk as far. And we might shuffle this around a bit, because if we put our industry somewhere over here, the storage might make more sense in a sort of centralized location. But I think I want to cut all these trees first, and then we'll start planning how we want to do the layout of this place. And at least it will give us a boost to our logs. Yeah, you see in the morning, these 5 pumpers start working really hard to fill up our water tanks after everyone had their nightcap, I guess. And then once it's full, they'll stop working. So we might do something like one is always working just in case, and then the other ones depend on how much water there is in storage, if they work or not. Oh, but then also on if there is water flowing. So we would have to do a relay here as well and do a combined depth and water stored measurement, I think. But we have reached 83 beavers now, and as we discussed, our water supply is coping very nicely. Our food supply looks to be fine as well. Keep a little eye on how the carrots are doing. We might have to prioritize getting more food on the go if it drops too soon at this population level. Or we'd have to do more math, but I think I'd rather avoid math if possible. It hasn't really served me well so far, so... Ah, nice. These guys are working hard, getting us a bunch of logs, clearing out this forest very efficiently. Good job, beavers. Oh, and our dam is almost finished. And there we go. Final piece going in now. And then we should have a pretty nice water supply in the colony. These are set to 1.9. Yes, okay, so they should start filling up now. And I'm curious what that will do to this height. So we are at 0.67 at the moment. Let's see, it should almost be overflowing now, I think, into this very nasty red lake. Yikes. Ah, there we go. So we are now diluting this nasty lake again. But we've also protected ourselves from bad water corrupting our trees and stuff, so that's good. And we have a very large lake of water over here. And actually it's too large because we have flooded a little bit of our colony over here. And I think that also means, yeah, we've slowed the flow of water over here. Okay, so we're gonna have to reduce the height of this a little bit. Maybe 1.8? Oh yeah, major flooding. Oh no, okay, maybe 1.6? I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. Because I think the entire map is slightly tilted, so the entire map goes from high to low, so that the water always keeps flowing. So, like, this point, this ground is lower than this ground. But if this ground is higher, then this should never flood because of a water level you have here, right? Because 190 over here is less than 190 over here, so I'm not sure why this is all flooding. I will see what happens if we let it drain out a bit, because there is a lot of water over here, and I think this doesn't actually flow, so this has to wow, words. Evaporate. Yeah, there we go. So now you can actually see that the water level here is higher to the ground than over here. So I think my logic does make sense, but I don't know, maybe it was just a sort of delayed effect of storing the water? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna set it back to 1.8 and we'll leave it there for a while and see if it stabilizes or if it causes a flood again. And we also have the science to unlock the new valves. So let's start putting those in here. And these do a flow limit. One-way water outlet with adjustable flow rate. So we could potentially say that it has to flow at a certain rate to keep our industry going, but it can slow down to let this fill up. So we could put levees on top of them, I think. Yeah, and then we'll see how this works and if we can make the relay work once they've built this. Okay, I gave it like a day and they are still set to 1.80, but the floods did subside. So I guess it's a sort of wave effect. You can see here it still has a little bit of wiggle room, so we should be fine. And the flow is good as well. So how are we on power now? Using 900, we need 720. So we have between 100 and 200 horsepower left. How much did the paper need? 80. We could get a little paper production going just to have some. We do have unemployed beavers. Actually, it might be worth it to do it in the right place right away. So let's see if we can start working over here. I think the flow is highest in this location. Over here we produce 260 horsepower. Yeah, so if we build levees over here to constrict the flow, we can get a lot of power going over here. I'm curious to see how much power this will produce once it's all built. And I'm not sure if this one actually slows the flow for this one. But we'll see once they're built. And we need to make paths to them. So we'll do it like this for now, and once they've built this, I think I will remove some paths to make room for actual industry and stuff. And I kept one square over here just in case we want to get on this mountain for any reason. And then this power production is highly dependent on not having a drought, of course. I mean, that's the other one as well. But this will still work in a bad tide. And the other one won't. So I think this is a more stable location for industry because it will only stop working in a drought. Oh, did we ever build the bad water pump? Did I do that? No. So do we want that over here or do we want it over here? I think over here might make more sense if we're doing our industry over here as well, because then everything is closer together. But I'm not sure if pumping water reduces the flow. I mean, one pump can't pump out that much water, right? We could add it to the end of the line of water wheels. So even if it does reduce flow, it doesn't really matter to me. We are still struggling with the sunflower seeds. How are we doing on the nutrition? Let's see, hunger. Everyone does eat them. So I guess we're producing like just enough sunflowers for the entire colony. And the campfire is doing much better than it was. Rooftop terrace is almost full. Contemplation spots are getting there. And everyone still has all the aesthetics, so that's good. We might start adding some roofs, to be honest. Just to get a bit more well-being. Although, it might be better to get more houses built first. Although I'm not really looking at increasing my population more than we are already. Or maybe we'll add some roofs. We can always delete them later if we want to expand. I think some 1x2s are fine. Something like this that reaches almost every house. Except for the one-person house, I think. So I'm not sure. Are we getting these outer ones? No, we are not. Can we do something really lame? Let's see. We could put roofs on the ground over here. Just to get the most out of our decorations. Can we put... Wait, maybe this is something better. Oh no, that's too far away. I was thinking if we put a platform... Oh, it doesn't fit. We could put a platform on top of the contemplation spot and give the contemplation spot a little roof, but we're not allowed to put anything above it. We'll keep it like this for now and we'll see how it goes, because these guys don't get the bushes either and every beaver has bush. So maybe they'll get the benefit of the roofs just by being here socializing. Okay, and they've built our new valves, so let's see how this works. Okay, so what is the current flow actually? It's 0.55. Our supply is 900, our demand is 720. I'm guessing for 720 we need like at least 0.4. So what happens is we put these to 0.4. Because I think that should start storing water, because that's less than the flow we had. So we're blocking some water, in theory. Not in practice though. Though, we are... Wait, we can measure it. 0.45? No, we're not really storing water. Did the flow reduce? Now measuring 0.33. How much power are we producing? Not enough. But how come we are measuring 0.3 and we're letting through 0.4? What if we put it to 0.5? We were slowly storing water. Let's give this a little time to update. Okay, we are now getting around 0.5. Oh, now it's dropping again. The water physics are just, I don't know, a bit unreliable, I guess. Because the flow is fluctuating between 0.3 and 0.5. Even when I'm not doing anything. And I saw a mini flood happening again as well, just a little while ago. Oh, we are now storing water. Interesting. I'm not sure I understand how this works. The only problem is we don't want this to raise too much, because then it will just start flooding. Or maybe we don't care, we just let it flow. We just let it overflow. And then once a drought starts... Another bad tide? Jeez, guys. Wow, we're unlucky. It can just keep flowing for a while longer because there's more water stored. Maybe we don't bother with the sensors and stuff. Maybe we just let this happen. I think I'm fine with that. We'll see where it goes. Ooh, and these power wheels have all been built. So how are we doing? You are producing 260. And you as well. Okay, so they don't slow the flow of water when they are in line. So that's good to know. So if we link these guys up, then we can see... Well, we should be producing like... what is it? Like 1200 something? 1240, I guess? No, I'm not saying this correctly. Like 1,000 and a bit. But we could always get more levees going and add more water wheels. And on this side as well. To get like a very big power output. I'm a bit worried about this squiggly bit though. I'm not sure how the water will behave if we start putting more levees over here. But I think 1,000 power is more than enough for our purposes at the moment. So let's start getting some industry on the go over here. Okay, so what do we want? We have 3 people making planks, 1 making gears, 1 making metal blocks, and 1 making treated planks. And it looks like that our supply is working for those numbers. So let's try and recreate this in our other area. And I think I want to keep the industry on the gray area as much as we can. And I think I'm gonna start with the bad water pump over here. Can we unlock that? 250 science. Doesn't need any fancy resources. We can just put it over there. Or actually, let's swap the entrance. And let's put a water tank next to it. We'll put it across. And you can store bad water. And then I think we wanted explosives. Explosives factory. Makes explosive from bad water, yeah. Okay. So let's see, how do we want to design our industry? I think I might reduce some green area over here just because we know this will become all gray and dry during a bad tide anyway. And how will we connect this? I think we can... We delete this path, add a power shaft over here. And then to maintain access to this back area in case we want to build more, we can build a platform with stairs. And then we still have access to this little back area if we want to. Just in case we want to add more water wheels to this chain. And then we need storage, I'm guessing a warehouse. We want a large warehouse for explosives. Do we need 1,200 explosives? Why not? I think I want all storage next to each other just for aesthetics. Even though it increases their walking distance, I'm not really fussed about the walking distance for explosives. I think it doesn't have to work at 100% efficiency. And we can do buildings on both sides, like back to back over here. I would like them to chop this soon, but actually we can, for future proofing, might be sensible to build a forester over here and start planting oaks. And oh wait, well, I'm gonna do like one line sort of through the middle of the forest with places for lumberjacks. So we'll do them staggered like this, and they'll each have a little, just a slightly different area where they work, and hopefully that will keep them all chopping this forest efficiently when it gets built eventually. So we'll make these... Well, actually, we'll just build them and then we'll pause them. Although, oh, they can just continue chopping this, that's fine. We might even be a little cheeky and make a little bridge to the other side and start chopping those trees as well. We are beavers after all, we can't stand it when there's a good forest just waiting to be chopped. Okay, and hopefully they'll get to these trees relatively soon so we can start planning the rest of this district, like our industry district, and then we can start taking out these, and that sounds more aggressive than I mean it, but then we can do more farm area here, I think. Because they seem to be coping pretty well with this amount of farmland. I don't see any crops that are waiting to be harvested. Our log storage is full, so I think the next time we reach 1,000 science, I am gonna unlock the really large storage for logs. Because these guys might stop working. Yeah, here he's set on his bum despite there being trees to cut, just because our storage is full. Water is doing fine, food is doing fine. We are finally storing a little bit of sunflower seeds, so maybe we have finally reached the point where we are sort of balanced with our production and consumption. Okay, so let's see how much space these buildings take so we can start planning a little bit. So we want lumber mills. How many? At least 3. So let's just say 3 lumber mills, and I am gonna pause these for now. And then we want at least 1 gear shop, but looking at our gears, we might want 2. That would go here and here. And then we want treated planks. Maybe we want 2 of those as well. No, these are longer again. And then I might start adding buildings to the back. So we can do a large storage section over here. Because we would like paper. How big are those? No, they are the other way around. Okay. So 2 of these is the same as 3 of the others. So they would fit nicely around the back here. Do we want them just back to back, or do we want a little access road in between? I think we can just put them back to back. That should be fine. And then there will be 1 over here. Oh, and the smelter, of course. Almost forgot. There is scrap metal right across the water here, so maybe a smelter over here would be a good idea, and we start scavenging from these ruins. Though I might want to move this in a little bit so we maintain our access road. Or do 2 storages fit in between here? They do. Okay, that's perfect. So I guess we need more of the underground stuff over here for our logs and planks and metal. But we don't have the signs to unlock those yet, so... Hey, we started planting oaks. Nice. I'm afraid that the power consumption of all these buildings is going to be way higher than what we produce. So I think we're going to have to look into adding more of these wheels pretty much straight away. So let's see how we can go about that. If we build levees over here and power wheels over... Oh, water wheels over here. I don't think we can build one here. I think that corner bit of water will mess us up. Hopefully this works, but I'm not sure with the water physics. We'll find out soon, I guess. We're also in our 3rd bad tide in a row. Oh yeah, there comes the dirty water. And you can immediately see why I decided that this would be better as a tree area than a farm area, because this will all dry out very quickly now. We have filled up this lake behind our new dam, so I think we should have flowing water for a while, even though the bad tide has started, but we'll find out soon. Let's keep an eye on this for a while, because the water from one of our main dams has stopped flowing now, and last time that created problems almost immediately. But this time, yeah, this time the flow maintains a steady rate, so I think this new dam design works a lot better than the previous one, because this allows us to keep working our industry for a while longer, while we still also pump water and grow crops. And we're just very slowly draining this lake. I just realized I never looked at this dam in the last bad tide, but yeah, this works fine as well. I mean, we would have noticed if it didn't, so... But it's nice to actually see it in action. It is killing a bunch of trees over here. Died from contamination. Yeah, so I think when they actually get the red stuff, they do die quicker than just drying. We can't actually see because these are all dead. But I guess we will see it in our next bad tide because we will be planting oaks over along this bank of the river. I think we should see them dying quite quickly in the next bad tide. Just like all of these. You can see where the corruption line ends. These are dead and these are drying out. But yeah, our new setup is working really well because we are almost in our second day and the water flow has only just stopped. So this will be the first time our industry turns off. Yeah, they've all paused. And we still have a lot of water stored. And these trees are not dying anymore because we keep the bad water far away from the colony now. Nice. So how are we doing on resources? We have 79 beavers at the moment. Water supply is still full. Carrots are full. Berries are almost full. And we have sunflowers in storage. So slowly getting there. I think I will increase the amount of sunflowers a bit more. Nice. Bad tide ended. We survived pretty easily, to be honest. I just noticed a new resource. What do we have here? Maple syrup. Oh, wait, the tapper is also gathering maple syrup for us. So maybe we should add a storage for that as well. Because I think... Oh, no, it's still gathering pine resin. I was going to say, I think it stops when the building is full, but it does actually have separate storage for both. But we might as well start storing both. And maple syrup is not stored in a warehouse, okay. Maple syrup is stored in a medium tank. Okay, that's fine. We currently have 17 job sites that don't have a beaver working there. Because I think because we keep building houses at roughly the same time, we keep getting sort of death waves where we get a bunch of births in one night and then all those beavers die at approximately the same time. And then we have a bunch of baby beavers who are not working. So it's a bit of a weird cycle we're going through that has to even itself out a bit. So we might start unpulsing more houses in a more gradual manner when we want to increase our population. All of these guys have stopped working because our water level is too low. Okay, that's fine. That's what they're supposed to do because we want to keep our crops growing. This is slowly getting there. I'm not sure how this guy works. Not sure what this sort of chimney is doing, but I'm guessing this is like a roll of paper to contain the bad water, or like wooden tubes mixed with bad water which we can ignite or something. Interesting. No fumes though. But it is a large chimney. Oh well. I like how all the buildings have a unique design. And I just remembered we never put in our smelter over here. And this path is going to be a bit weird because this guy is so much shorter than the others. How do we want to get across the water? We could squeeze through this gap. Something like that. So we can continue the power shaft this way. Then how do we get up here? I think we can build stairs over here. Yeah, that works fine. And how much scrappers did we have? 3 scrappers. Okay, so we can... I think we can do with 2, to be honest. Because we're not using that many metal blocks, it seems to me. And they can store the scrap metal over here, and they'll both have sort of the same amount of distance they need to travel, so I think that should be fine. And the water has started flowing again, so that should mean we are slowly filling up this area as well. Once all the flooding has settled. And you can see we are flushing out trace amounts of bad water, but it doesn't seem to be affecting anything, so I think that's fine. We have run out of planks. I think we started building all of this a bit too fast. And we now have a lot of vacancies, but I think that's sort of a phase because we have double industry and, like I said, the sort of baby boom happening at the same time. Having said that, we do have 3 lumber mills and 2 gear makers over here, so I guess we can start removing these ones. And this is our wood workshop and our smelter. And we have a wood workshop over here, and smelter will be here soon-ish. We still have a supply of metal blocks, so I think it's safe to remove these as well. And then we can move these storages out of the way and start planting a bit more crops, I think. And then probably do some food production over here with this power supply. So I'm glad I made all of this to maintain a steady flow rate for the power, and then we moved our entire industry. Oh well. How are we doing on well-being? Did the roofs work? We are on 13 now. Roof. Yeah, almost all the beavers have roofs. Okay, nice. I think we needed to get to 17. Bailey. Aye. Yeah, 17 for higher life expectancy. Oh, at 15 we get more working speed. 22 is more movement speed. You're already at 14. Nice. So what have you got? Wet fur, carrots and sunflower seeds, campfire, terrace, contemplation spot, shrub, lantern, roof, weather vane. Okay, so I'm guessing the wet fur is what gives her the edge over the others. So we might... Did we ever unlock showers? We did, but we never built them. So maybe we can get some showers on the go soon? I was gonna say maybe we can put them across the water, but it seems a bit silly for the beavers to go swimming for the shower. Because I want it sort of close to the houses, because this is gonna be our super fancy, fun, happy place. But we don't have any water here. So could we have them shower behind our dam? Maybe. Why not? And we could even redo this path a little. This will be our communal shower area. How are we going over here? Oh, we are getting... Where are the explosives? 27 already. Nice. Who is actually making the explosives? Oh, no. Yeah. I was afraid you would say something like that. Okay, well, I mean... At least they're stored safely over here for now, so... I guess that's fine. But this is getting dodgier by the day with Beelzebub in the colony. Ugh. I am tempted to unpause 2 more houses to increase our population, just because we have 20 vacancies. But I think that would also risk tipping us over the edge of our supplies. Although carrots are full in water and sunflowers are very slowly increasing now. I mean, adding, what, 12 more beavers or whatever would bring us back down again with the sunflowers, but maybe that's fine. I think I am gonna unpause 2 more houses. How much population will that add? We've got 7 empty spots, so we go from 83 to 89, so that's 6 more spots. That makes sense because it's 3 beavers per house, so... Because I was sort of waiting on 1,000 science for the big storage piles to continue designing this, but we're not getting 1,000 science because we're so short on beavers. And we're also not chopping those trees because our log storage is full. We're sort of at an impasse. I might pause these lumberjacks. I'll keep these 2 unpaused because I want these trees gone. We'll pause them. Oh, that's a bit more jobs. Not sure what they're gonna become. Not inventors. We are full on builders and haulers. I'm guessing we are short 9... Which buildings are those? Okay, all of 9 of them are inventors. I did add a couple of more inventors, I think, during the badtide or somewhere around there. So I guess it's fine to have those 9 not working at the moment. I mean, I would like more science, but I think the haulers are more important. Same with the builders, because they have to walk very far to build everything over here. So I think it's worth it to have a lot of builders doing that. Because the sooner we build all of these, the sooner we will be able to get our science on the go again and get our logs on the go. I'm gonna pause the second wood workshop because we don't need that right now. I think I'm gonna leave space for a 3rd one of these. And also room for stairs should we ever want to build on top of them. Okay, our new industrial site is fully up and running. All the wheels are connected. We are now supplying 1700 horsepower. Wow. We need 1,000 though, so I'm glad we made this expansion and we moved to this location with more power. We still have some wiggle room for more... Why are you not working? You're full of paper. Wait, didn't we have a paper storage? Gears. Explosives. Oh, wait, did I never build a storage for paper? Whoops. Sorry. Okay, we'll start storing paper as well now. My bad. And we're almost at the 1,000 science we need for the large piles. Oh, whoops. Something I didn't think about. Okay, so this is working as expected. We are storing this water until it overflows. But I wasn't expecting it to overflow over here as well. So now we have this giant new lake. Oh, okay, I was gonna say I'm gonna fix it, but looking at my recording time, I think this is gonna be our cliffhanger this time. So, let me know what you want me to do with this. Are we gonna go ahead with our discussed plan of making a new lake over here so we can keep this entire area green? Or are we gonna raise this dam so we can contain it over here and not worry about this? Let me know in the comments what you want us to do. I will try and do that next time. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.